Well, a very good morning to you and yours. Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful morning. We are coming to you from Kururu in the mighty KAVANGO West region, where we are here for the 10th regional State of the Region address that is set to be tabled by the governor of the KAVANGO West region, Honorable Sirka Ausiku, and this is where it's going to be taking place here at the community hall in the KAVANGO West region in Kururu town, exactly at the that is the Sheikh Dweller settlement. Now we are going to be bringing you this broadcast, of course, just to take you through what we're going to be expecting today. That is the broadcast we are looking forward to have just in a few minutes. But for now, this is the beautiful town of Kururu. Let's take you around a tour of the beautiful town just to see exactly what this town has to offer.
The good part is the environment itself. The town is a bit close to the river. That is true. It's very nice about it. It's like it used to attract more, especially like business people. So those one who want to build their lodge, who want to build their business. Here it's a bit close to the river. Especially like lodge there. At least you can attract customers, tourists. At least they can come when they are coming through the rivers. There, at least they can pass at your. At the lodge there, guest house, so at least they can.
Our main issue here, which I notice very much, people are suffering too much on home affair. When coming to the issue of fingerprint,
just our school. Just need our school to have a school hall. That's all.
The school of combined, that school is like public. It's not like under control. Even the learners. Maybe they can go at school late. Why they put time is 7 o'clock to enter in the classes? Some kids are going there at school even at 9 or 10. No control, no punishment for them. And even the school is like public. Kids can just walk around. Teachers, they cannot say anything in town with the school uniform.
And the worst part is unemployment. There is everywhere. In Namibia, unemployment is a big problem everywhere. And this one need to be at least need to be targeted always, like all over the country, because for people to be, if they want like people to come always like in a big numbers here, unless there must be a lot of good things that can attract people to come and invest in this town. If nothing like that, then it's obvious nothing will happen.
That's right. It is the State of the Region address, and we are coming to you from Kururu. What you just heard there were the voices of the residents of Kururu town, and of course some of the entire KAVANGO West region, just giving us what exactly they look forward to, their concerns, and of course some of the positives that they are, of course, just talking about when it comes to all that they are living on here in the KAVANGO West region. Now, the State of the Region Address 2024 in Namibia stands as a pivotal moment in the nation's political and social landscape. This annual event, delivered by the governors, provides a comprehensive overview of the regional government's achievements, challenges, and strategic direction for the future. So the State of the Region 2024 serves as a crucial platform for transparency and accountability, and it also allows regional leaders to present their accomplishments, detailing that is the progress in areas such as infrastructure development, healthcare, education, and economic empowerment. By highlighting these achievements, the address fosters to foster a sense of trust and confidence among the citizens, and showcasing a tangible benefit of government initiatives. Now, to help us unpack this, of course, the governor's speech that is set to be tabled a bit later on in just a few minutes, we are joined today by George Kalenga, who is an academician and lecturer at the IUM Kururu campus. Morokeni, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. If you maybe could just start by breaking the ice for maybe someone who is never, I mean myself, I am a very new face here. I'm visiting this town for the first time. If you could just describe the KAVANGO West region to anyone who's new, how would you describe it in your words?
KAVANGO West region is a beautiful town. Indeed, it's a young town.
Yeah.
The region was just recently demarcated from the other region, which is KAVANGO East, and we became KAVANGO West only just some few years ago.
Very well.
So it's indeed a beautiful town. There are a lot of things that you can expect. There are a lot of diversity of people that lives in this region. Some they've migrated from Botswana, some from Angola. Yeah,
And personally, how long have you stayed in Kururu?
So far, I'm actually a resident of Kururu. I was born here. But just to say in short,
Yeah.
I live here.
You live here?
Yes.
And you love it here?
Yeah, I love it being here.
Very well. The topic at hand is, of course, the state of the region address. We are looking at the Honorable Sirka Osikutu table, the state of the region address right here in Kururu. Talk to us about the importance of having this initiative, being done as a national initiative. How important is it really to have a state of the region address?
No, it's very, very much important because it gives an overview and it highlight to the residents of the region what to expect and what are the programs and what are the initiatives that the governor have in place. It's really going to open us an eye to know what we are expecting from the governor's office or the government, and to see how they can be able to help the residents of the region.
Very well. We also know that this is, of course, going to be a lot of deliberations around what has been done so far, and you also just mentioned expectations. As an academician, or perhaps as a resident of Kururu in the KAVANGO West region, what are your expectations for the State of the Region address that's set to take place today?
So we are expecting the governor to mention or to give calls to agriculture.
Yeah.
I'm expecting the governor to talk about that, and I'm also expecting for the governor to touch base more on education and health, and also to touch what other policies are there or programs that are there that will help farmers in terms of farming. And we are as well expecting the governor to tackle on the youth. In short, that's what we are expecting.
All right. I want us to break those points down that you just mentioned. Let's start perhaps with agriculture. What has your observations been in that area? How has agriculture performed in the region, and what perhaps were the loopholes that needed to be filled from the governor's office, or perhaps all stakeholders that work with the governor's office to make sure that agriculture is working at a peculiar standard to make sure that all things are well done here in the region?
So just to deliberate on agriculture, I don't think there's much has been done. We have KAVANGO River, which is flowing 24 hours. But if you can see in the region, most of the people are not doing much in terms of horticulture. So I expect the governor at least to come up with those type of initiative that will help the people that would want to take part into horticulture. So that is what we are expecting. We are expecting more boreholes. We have conflict. We have also this point of animals and people conflicts. Right. We expect that the speech at least will tackle on how they can be able to bring water that will help the agricultural sectors.
Were there any positives in that sector, especially agriculture, that has perhaps progressed to a certain level?
I cannot say much that there is a progressive or there's not much progressive. Yes, even if there's a progressive that is not much, we expect the region to produce enough, since that we are so close to the river, and the land or the soil is so fertile for us to do much. If we can just if you can just go around the whole town, you won't find much more of the things that are supposed to be done in agriculture. We are buying things in shops, which we're supposed not to buy. We're supposed to be having these things in our own houses, and so on.
Very well. Let's tackle healthcare and education. Very, very essential and very crucial, services that should be a basic necessity for all residents throughout, the entire country and everywhere. What has been your observations in those two areas? Perhaps starting with healthcare, and what more are you expecting for the governor to deliberate on when it comes to healthcare?
When it comes to health, I know for sure, and the residents of the KAVANGO West region, they know for sure that we do not have the district state hospital, which is it's really not good for a big region as this one. We don't have a district hospital. We are only relying on clinics, and if you see now, people from very far village have to travel just to come for hospital, and when they come here, they only find the clinic. Yep. So it's not much has been done in terms of clinic. As far as we are concerned, we don't have a district hospital. And I don't think like that we are doing much. So we are expecting the governor to talk about it and to see what's the way forward. The That's one I can say on health.
Public consultancy is very important and a very important part. Perhaps still on healthcare. Were there any consultation meetings perhaps observed in the region to perhaps just make sure that the public also has a voice to our government, government officials, to make sure that their voices are also heard, to perhaps not only provide solutions but also present their concerns as well, not only when it's time for the State of the Region address, but throughout the entire year, to hear their voices and, of course, also have their concerns heard when it comes to healthcare?
Yes, there are some meetings that have been held and there are some consultations that have been held. I've seen in social media about the Kururu Hospital, which is part of, I think it's part of Nanjokwe, or if I'm not mistaken. So there have been, there was such incidents where the head of that hospital have to show what they go through in that hospital and so on. And to that extent, they perhaps went to a method of moving some certain services from the hospital itself to the clinic. If we can see, some of the things have been done at the clinic, where the clinic, the part where they're supposed to host for patients for corona, is where now they took some of the service to be done there, especially like when maternity and so on. So there's not much to say that it's still been done in terms of the hospital.
But of course, still, when it comes to healthcare still being, how difficult really has it been for the residents, having to only rely on one clinic to get the essential health services that they need, and what are your possible solutions that you can perhaps share for improvement in an area?
Yeah, I think based on that, there are a lot of challenges that has been going through that service, and to just for the whole people, or for the whole region, or for the whole people in the town just to run to the clinic to get the service, it's really not so easy, and it's very tough for the residents to get the service that they deserve. Sometimes when they go there, the medicines are not there. So that is it's another point again to talk about. But as much as we are deliberating on that, I think the government can do much. Yeah. They can still come up with another clinic if the budget is not there to build another hospital. They should be able to build another clinic that will cater for other people that are coming from far. Just imagine you come from Katwitu, you reach here, the queue at the clinic is too big or it's too long. So you want to get the service, you want to be helped on time, and that will impact in terms of health. Yes.
And if you compare the 2 years between the financial year of 2023-2024 to this year right now, how long has it been, and how long is this struggle going on for in the Kavango West region?
The struggle has been going through continuously. I can't say how long, but I can observe the struggling is really there. Yeah. It's going through.
Let's touch on a topic that's not too far from yourself. Of course, you are an academician. Let's talk about education. What has been the observations in the education sector, and what has been, perhaps the reasons that were given by schools or students or learners here in the Kavango West region for the need for proper education services in the region?
So far, if I can just deliberate more on education, since independence, if we can just look at the schools that have been built in Kavango West region, they are not so much. They are just few. And
namely, if you can just give us some of them.
I can't give all of them, but I know about Himarai Thete, and I know about Levi Aksembe, Kurenkuru Combine, Kahenge, and Kanjimi Murangi, and the list goes on and on. Yeah. But I think not much schools have been built since. And I think that is where the sector, where the government need to focus most. Most kids, they come from far distance to come to school. Imagine you walk for 5 kilos just to go and attend a class which is starting at 7 o'clock. It's just not doing justice to a child of Namibia. Yeah, so I feel like schools are not, perhaps teachers are doing much, but the government needs to intervene in terms of building schools. I know in Kurenkuru there are some schools that have been built now. Yeah. I have a school that I just saw which has been built, which will start next year, but that's not much. We are expecting schools to be available everywhere.
Very well. And does this perhaps have an effect on the performance of the learners and students who are attending their education?
Yes, it's having an impact. If we look in terms of a learner who comes from a far distance just to come and attend classes, the distance that the learner travels or that they have to reach the destination, it's just too way far. When the learner comes in the class, he's already tired. Even if the teacher tries to emphasize on some certain points, they will not be that willingly of learning because their brain, their body is tired. They can't cope. Just after the class or after school, the learner is still programmed. You have to walk for a distance of 5 kilometers. That that affects the performance of the learner. So that's why I'm saying, at least even hostel, if they are built in the region, will do justice to a Namibian child. Just imagine, we have only hostel in Kanjimi Murangi, and we have a hostel in Himarai Thete.
Right.
But as a town, apart from the private school that we have, which is Elsin, we do not have a hostel. So this gives a green light already that kids that are always schooling at Kururu, they are coming from far. Even if they are coming from home, maybe they are not proper proper accommodation that can cater for a child to learn. Yeah, that's why I'm saying they need to do more.
Very well. And if you talk about perhaps some of the positives, what do you think really, in terms of the impact of all these concerns when it comes to the results of the schools that are of the learners when they attend the school? What more really can be done in terms of perhaps building new school facilities? Is that perhaps the only reason that needs to be done? And perhaps do you think that more transport, the transport sector can also perhaps be improved? The concern or the challenge that you just mentioned about kids having to travel far distances to the institutions where they have to receive educational?
Yeah, all I'm saying is that the education sector, it's too broad. For a child to perform very, very, very well, they need all the attention that they need based on in terms of materials, in terms of the facility of the classes, in terms of the teaching and so on. But what we are saying, imagine in one class, if we say that we do not have enough schools in KAVANGO West. So most of the people that are in the class, some of them you'll find them, they have been taught under the tree. Rain season comes, those learners need to move out from the tree and be overcrowded in other classes. And another thing that we are saying, if they can be able to build a hostel in a town, or if they can be able to increase another school which is having a hostel, this will enable learners to be near schools. So they cannot be able to travel very far, and that will give them space to study. You can't be able to travel from far distance, from here, 5 kilometers. When you reach there, you are expecting to read the book and understand. That it will not work because the learner is already tired. Perhaps when he reaches there, he's even maybe hungry. He can't even be able to take a book and read. Then he have to go to look for food, or maybe try to engage in this activity that are not right. So we are saying, if they can be able to increase schools, if they can be able to increase the facility of hostel in Kurenkuru, especially in Kurenkuru Combined. This school has been here for long. If you go where they are, those kids that are schooling there, they are coming from, it's really a pity. For it's like you have been marginalized. So we are expecting Kurenkuru Combined to have a hostel, and that hostel should cater for kids that are coming from far distance. And then the classes need to be built. They need to increase the classes. We can't have a school which is well known, but when you go there, the kids that are there, they are 40, 50 in one class. So when we look at that, a learner will not have that much attention from a teacher because the class is already overcrowded. So we are saying, at least in the region, they should be able to build more schools, build more hostels, and again, bring the materials like books that are needed for learners for them to excel their studies.
Now, a very, very important thing to say is that, for all of this to be brought to fruition and everything else to be established, of course, funds need to be allocated. And a challenge that government has been facing for quite a while is the allocation of adequate funds for these services to be properly, availed and built. It's a challenge for government, we've heard from in so many platforms. But do you think this reasoning is perhaps important, or perhaps just reason enough for government to say that no, we have this challenge, but with all the funds that are available, something can be done. What is your say to that?
I think it's about in terms of funds. I might not know much about the budget allocated to each region. But if they happen to, they should be able, when the region is upcoming, there are some other regions that are already there. Yeah, they have all the facilities, they have all the service that they need. But if they happen, the government to allocate the budget, they should be able to look at the regions that are so young that they don't have much than other regions. Then there could be no such an issue of to say that funds are not there. In terms of funds, the government, I think it can do better. Yeah, I think it can do better. It's just that they must find us the mechanism and the strategy how they can be able to allocate funds in terms of young regions for them to reach at the standard or where we're supposed to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Another big concern, employment. Youth unemployment is, of course, one challenge that faces not only the KAVANGO West region, but, of course, a lot of other regions in the country. What is your observation been in terms of youth unemployment here in the region, and what do you think are some of the solutions we are waiting for the governor to come and address as she delivers the State of the Region address later on?
So yes, unemployment is really too critical and is very high in the region, and from my observation, we have seen if there is an interview about the post about teaching, you will see a lot of people that are flocking for that interview. That means it's an indication to us that there's no job. Yeah. So we are expecting in terms of a sector of education, if they could be able to build more schools countrywide.
So this will, of course, also...
Yes, it will reduce the level of unemployment. But if now we are saying that then the school that we have is only the school that we know, and there are a lot of graduates that are graduating. So at that school, there's only one class and there's one post. So we are expecting that all those graduates that have graduated, they won't be able to find a job. Yeah. But if they can come up with initiatives to build more schools, this will reduce at least the level of unemployment. But let's talk about the region. The region is supposed to be the best region in terms of agriculture. So we can also reduce unemployment in terms of agriculture. If there should be some initiative about horticulture and agricultural program, green schemes. The green scheme can hire people that can be able to work in that industry. And also as well, we should, I think the region should look in terms of the VTC. If the VTC could be completed, then we could send some learners or some students to go and study about
But of course, it is a positive sign that we have a tertiary institution that's being built. That, of course, will provide vocational training to all those that are wishing to get experience and, of course, also be educated in that sector, is it not?
Yeah, there is. So what we are saying is the speed that they are building, it's maybe taking too long. What we are saying is that if we could be able to train skilled people or project that they can be able also to hire other youth, and then that will reduce unemployment. And then perhaps just to educate the youth, the importance of horticulture. So we can't all rely only about being a teacher and so on. We can do more better in other sectors.
Absolutely. On that same point, when you just mentioned about education and graduates having to get opportunities in terms of creating more schools in the region for them to be able to get these opportunities. But let's talk about the ones who are unfortunate enough to not have made it to varsity or tertiary education. There's so many complaints about still having unemployment in that area, not also having ideas for themselves to come up with something, perhaps a business that they can start to perhaps make a living or make means in that area. What has been your observation for those who are not fortunate enough to have made it to varsity? And of course, we had advice from the head of state as well to empower our youth to create employment for themselves and also to create opportunities for themselves to start up with something that can make ends meet for themselves.
Perhaps we have to look at it in this way. The government just have to come up with some initiatives and some project that will help the youth to do something. Because it's true what you are saying that there are a lot of people that are not that not make it to varsity, and they are our Namibian, they are our citizens, they are youth. So the only way we can be able to help or to to enable them to do something. It's about the region or the government to come up with some initiative about agriculture, and perhaps bring some program that they can be able to teach them about certain activity that can be done that will bring positive economical incomes.
And another thing, perhaps on the same issue you just mentioned, the topic of horticulture, agriculture, and all of this. We of course know that the country experienced drought, not sufficient rain in a recent perhaps time frame. What has your observation been there? Do you think that it has been an effect to agriculture in the region, even knowing that we have a perennial river, of course, in the region? What are the solutions to that, and what perhaps has been your observation as well in that area?
Pardon me?
We know that the country, of course, experienced drought in recent times and not sufficient rain. What has been your observation in that area in terms of the challenges faced in the agricultural sector and the horticultural sector as a result of drought?
I think no much attention has been given. Yeah, so the government is not paying much attention to those two sectors. Because if we look at in this region, we have only Sikondo and Msese Green Scheme. Yeah. But apart from that, only the other one which I cannot really recall. But if they can be able to push the youth in terms of the youth center that they are building there, to come up with activity that will bring economical activity to life, then we can be able to say that we are at least better. We are trying to improve that sector. In terms of horticulture, we have the river that flows throughout. Yeah. But the challenge is no one would want to go there and fight with a crocodile. You understand? So if what we are saying is that at least if they can build borehole close to the river and enable those people that are willing to do horticulture, then we can be able to produce what we can be able to produce. And then that will generate incomes. We don't need to go in shops to buy food such as tomato, onions, and so on. Yeah. So far, if you see around the town, you will find that there are people around the town that they are selling. But where are they getting these things? Are they really getting it from the river, or are they getting it in the shop? So if you can analyze, perhaps they are buying it in the shop, and then they just come, the vendors, they will just come across the road, and then they just tie to make it a $10 for them to make a living, to make a profit from it. Yeah. But if we can say that they are producing these things from the river, this will enable them to what? To produce more and supply more, and then at least they can be, yeah.
There's so many ideas that can come from, this sort of ideas. Boreholes are one of them, or perhaps, projects or initiatives to generate clean water from the river. What are your perhaps ideas that you can say, perhaps personal, that you have that you think can be looked into, perhaps also to alleviate this area and also provide much cleaner water to the residents of the KAVANGO West region?
Yeah, all I can say is that the government should just drill more boreholes. There's no much that we can do. We do not want to fight animals fighting with humans. Yeah, you would want to go and do gardening there, and then you have been attacked by hippo. So it's not much, it's not good. So my observation and what I think that can be done is that the government should just drill more borehole close to the river, allowing the people that want to do horticulture to take place.
All right. Now, how do you anticipate the governor to address issues related to poverty alleviation and community development?
I expect the governor to still on the project there for the youth. Yeah. So if the government can come up with such project, at least will enable us to produce things that will enable us to survive. For an example, the region is supposed to be known good for something. For an example, as we are saying, agriculture. Agricultural sector can create employment, and it can also reduce poverty. So if we are not engaging ourselves into agriculture, then there's no way we are going to elevate poverty. Yeah. So that's why I'm looking at, like, at least the government should emphasize more on agriculture and help farmers to produce more that will be able to sustain the region, and then be able, the surplus we can at least sell to other regions.
Very much so. Now, if you're just joining us, you're watching the State of the Region on your home channel, NBC. And of course, we are coming to you live from the Kururu town that is in the mighty KAVANGO West region. We are waiting, of course, to hear the governor of the KAVANGO West region, Sirka Ausiku, to table her State of the Region address. Much anticipated. We are, of course, also seeing some movement in the hall where the event will be taking place. And we are awaiting, as of course, more members of the public, of course, government officials, the town council also to make their way here to, of course, observe and also engage with the governor on what she is talking about in terms of the achievements and the challenges that will be confronted here today. We are coming to you live, so I am still joined by George Kalenga, who is an academician. We, of course, are breaking down what we are looking forward to when it comes to the State of the Region address. I want to touch with you again on other matters, of course, which are a concern in the KAVANGO West region. Let's talk about. I want to still touch on tertiary education. Were there any observations that you are looking to hear to be improved, perhaps, or the success stories? Because, I mean, we will, of course, always have challenges observed. We obviously always hear a lot that needs to be done. But what are some of the success stories that you can tell have been made in the region so far?
So far, apart from, we have an institution. So the institution is running very well. So I won't want to talk more about the institution itself. But yes, I'm seeing there's a positive response to citizens or to residents of the region to partake or to take part into learning. Yeah. So that is positive to us. In the past, we could see students or learners traveling as far as Windhoek to go and study. But the institution is now they are coming on board. We have the IM in Kururu and the VTC is coming. So that is positive to the region, at least.
Let's talk about sports and recreational activities. And a lot of what is a challenge sometimes is the youth complain that there are not enough recreational activities present in the town. This is just general, not specifically knowing that there are any challenges experienced here. But what is your observation in that area of sports and recreational activity?
Yes, there is much concern. Yeah, so sports supposed to bring people together, and it's supposed to bring the youth in terms of reframing them from other activities. But as far as we are concerned, we want the which cup is this one, which was newspaper cup,
which was very commendable indeed. Yeah, very well done. They shocked the whole Namibian nation on its performance, actually.
Okay, and the performance which just took place again, the newspaper cup again, we went so far. But if we come to the region itself, we do not have sport facility itself. So the sport facility which is now, it's currently ongoing, but I believe that in the years to come, we are going to have a sport field. But as far as we are concerned, that we do not have a sport field on board, and this is a concern to the youth.
But then, if you look at the passion from the young people in terms of sports, with the little that they have, with no proper stadium built in the region, they still get to excel. What do you make of the passion that the young people who are participating in the sport activities, and how they really continue to further pursue the sports and also do well? What do you make of that passion from the young people? Are they really in the sports that they really want to, and also the call that they are making for proper sports facilities to be built in the region?
Yes, there is a positive response from the youth that they would want to engage themselves into sport. If you look at just recently, last weekend, there was a governor's, or not the governor, but the mayor's cup. Right. So it was really positive to see that a lot of teams turn up on board, that they would want to take part in the sport. But the only thing that we are saying is that they should be able to build more sport that will be able the youth to take part into the sport activities.
Very well. The moment we've all been waiting for is currently now at hand. We are now observing, of course, the governor, Sirka Ausiku, to table her State of our Region address. We are now crossing over into the hall as we observe the national anthem, and of course, to hear what the governor has to say. Let's take it.
Council. This is one of our SORA. I call this meeting, and I can see we form a quorum. In terms of Article 110A, Paragraph 5 of the Namibian Constitution, which states that the regional governor shall attend a meeting of the regional council, of which she is the regional governor, once every year, which meeting shall occur after the President and the Cabinet attend Parliament in terms of Article 32, subparagraph 2 thereof. Article 110A, subparagraph 6 states that during the meeting referred in sub-article 5, the regional governor shall address the regional council on the state of the region, planned activities of the central government in the region, reports of
Cost
the
of the State of the Region address
of the
that is
central
currently
government,
happening in the
of the
Kururu
previous
in the
year
mighty Kavango West region, and we are now observing the introduction that is being done, and the governor is now, of course, being welcomed. The governor is of course now heading to the podium to give the State of the Region address.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. May we take our seat. Honorable Joseph Skongo, Chairperson of the KAVANGO Regional Council, Honorable Regional Councillors present here, esteemed Traditional Authority present here, let me also recognize our veterans of the liberation struggle, Comrade David Hamtenya, SWAPO Party Regional Coordinator, and other political leaders present here. Ms. Elizabeth Kakukuru, the Acting CRO for KAVANGO West Regional Council, Commissioner Sakua Neo, the Regional Commander of KAVANGO West Region, senior service and government officials, religious leaders, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Morokeni. First, I have to apologize. I'm down with the flu, and you have to bear with me. I'll try my best to take you through this process this morning. It is an honor to stand here this morning to deliver the 10th State of the Region address as the Regional Governor of KAVANGO West Region, as per Article 110B, subparagraph 6 of the Namibian Constitution. The year of expectation, the year that robbed us of our beloved late President, His Excellency Dr. Hage G. Geingob, the third President of the Republic of Namibia, the unifier, who was building a Namibian house where no one must feel left out. Our departed President promoted inclusivity in the Namibian house to achieve shared prosperity for all. This is the legacy he left to all Namibians, and his fond memories will continue to live in our hearts. My address this morning will be looking at the state of the region and its challenges, the region's strategic development goals, the ongoing projects and planned regional activities of the government for 2024-25 financial year, and how we plan to move forward. The state of the region and its challenges. The region is guided by the available statistic from the Namibian Statistic Agency to describe and define its developmental state over the past 10 years. The developmental state of our young region continues to improve. In the area of bringing service closer to the people, we all can remember that offices, ministries, and agencies and other institutions have opened their offices in the region, especially in Kururu town, including our 8 constituency offices. Many jobs were created in this process. Most of these institutions are renting office spaces from our local entrepreneurs, and this is helping to stimulate our local economy. Although most of the offices are here and ministries, we are still requesting the Minister of Justice, as well as Social Security Commission, to also open their office in the region. The region is highly rural, with Kururu town as the capital and economic center, followed by Katwitwi settlement. In this regard, KAVANGO West Regional Council declared the following growth points into settlements, namely Mpungu, Rupara, Bunya, Ngamagoro, and Kachinakachi. During the period under review, Council completed the demarcation of boundaries and layout exercise, which was submitted to the Surveyor General's office for approval. Therefore, the region is requesting KAVANGO West Regional Council and the Line Ministry to start developing these 5 settlements, into towns. At the same time, Katwitwi settlement and Kahenge are to be proclaimed as village councils by 2025. A submission in this regard have been submitted by KAVANGO West Regional Council to the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development for approval. And the region is appealing to the Line Ministry to fast-track this process without further delays. The government continues to address the region's challenges, such as poor road infrastructure networks, like feeder roads, especially in the inland, inadequate water and rural infrastructures, inadequate electricity infrastructure, and lack of mobile communication networks in most parts of our region. Not to mention inadequate educational and health facilities. Although the government is addressing these challenges, it's not at the pace the inhabitants would like to see it. However, we also remember that the country went through economic downturn, prolonged drought, and the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. However, the region will continue to put these challenges on the agenda until they are until they are fully addressed. Some of you may think that I keep repeating the same challenges because they are still not fully addressed. At the same time, the region is appealing to all ministries, agencies, and offices to start using the available statistics and reports from the Namibian Statistic Agency as a basis for policy formulation, for planning, for decision-making, and for resource allocation towards programs and projects in all the 14 regions. The region strategic goals. The region strategic goal will remain the same, namely infrastructure development, agriculture, manufacturing, looking at value addition, and community-based tourism. With good investment, these sectors can bring positive impact in the region and improve the livelihoods of our community. The region is also appealing to the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprise, the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade, to ensure that the management issues at KAVANGO Cattle Ranch are addressed without further delays, because the region believes that if this farm is well managed, it can create agro-processing industries, the farm create needed employment and address poverty, as well as improve food security in the country. Under Operation Katemo, with the theme KAVANGO West Going Green, we have observed a positive response as many of our communities are getting involved in horticulture production, especially the youth and young professionals. In this regard, the region would like to thank our development partner, namely the Embassy of Japan, through FAO, for their financial and technical support. The region also continues to appreciate the best horticulture producers, especially among the youth. And the best producer for this year is Kambinda from Nuni constituency. I hope he's here. Kambinda, can you stand up, please, so that they can see who's Kambinda? Thank you, Kambinda. If we remember, last year it was a youth from Msese constituency, and this year it is somebody from Nguni. Pandu Siri Kambinda, Ngira. The second best improved horticulture producer among the category of the youth is Mrenga from Pungu constituency. Mrenga, Maulium. Yaro, Sakereniko. Pandu. I'm happy that the youth are taking agriculture as a sector which can help them to create jobs. I'm also happy to report that the horticulture producers in the region have formed an association to help coordinate their activity, and what they need is a market for their products. And in this regard, the region is going to host a conference in October to bring together all stakeholders to come up with workable strategies to help especially our youth to get market for their products. Honorable Chairperson, although the region have identified and introduce this initiative that can change the livelihood of our community. Lack of technical and financial support from offices, ministries, and agencies, and financial institutions like Development Bank of Namibia and Agribank to local farmers and to our business community is still a challenge, and we are appealing for them to address this matter. Now, I would like to highlight the achievements by KAVANGO West Regional Council, Kururu Town Council, and the central government during the 22, 23, and 24 financial year. Under economic advancement and infrastructure development, KAVANGO West Regional Council. As reported last year, KAVANGO West Regional Council have a staff complement of 115. Out of that, 105 positions have been filled, and these have created new jobs in the region. Council also have made strides in the infrastructure development, namely the completion of the 4 new constituency offices and the construction of the Regional Government Office Park, which is ongoing and with the allocation of 30 million for this financial year. This office is to be completed by 2025. The construction of Rupara Rural Development received 13 million allocation for this financial year, while Katwitwi Settlement received an allocation of 1 million. Council also implemented rural development programs during the period under review, where 80 community members, including the youth, receive support in horticulture to start their project. The aim of this support is to create self-employment. Further, Ninaleg Kurivere Landscape Project in Pungu constituency is progressing well. They constructed 2 traditional wells at Nepara and Ngando village, and also completed the workshop for wood covers. The Sheikh Dweller Federation is also making progress at Rupara village, where they build additional 22 houses, and that make the total number to 97 at that location. Mankumpi constituency will continue with their low-income housing project at Kachinakachi with 20 houses this year. I'm once again appealing to other constituency councillors to initiate similar programs of affordable housing projects in all our 5 settlements. Rural water supply. Provision of safe drinking water remains a top priority of the region. During the period under review, the Directorate managed to drill and install 27 boreholes in the crocodile-prone areas in all our constituency along the KAVANGO River. In addition, 2 traditional wells were modernized at Sharukwe village in Nguni constituency and Choha in Pungu constituency, while 3 earth dams are constructed at Murere, Mbomezama Tawa, both in Tondoro constituency, and Gawa in Pungu constituency. Because according to the Namibian Statistics Agency, only 76.3% of the population in the region has access to safe drinking water. Some still travel at least 31 kilometers to access water points. At the same time, I'm also encouraging our communities to safeguard their water infrastructure from vandalism and theft. The region would like to appreciate NAM Water by launching the new bulk water treatment plant in Rundu that will respond to the region's request to construct the water pipeline along the national road. Sanitation. As previously reported, KAVANGO West Regional Council continues to implement rural sanitation program. Close to 100 rural toilets were constructed during the period under review, and another 2.3 million is allocated for the same program. Information, communication, and technology. Communication network remains a challenge, and according to the Namibian Statistics Agency, 29.1% of the population in the region have no access to mobile communication network. However, the region would like to appreciate the construction of new towers, and this project is ongoing. And the region is still calling upon the Line Ministry and their agencies to expand the local radio coverage, which is at 78% now, while television coverage is at 74.5%. The region is also requesting for NBC management to allocate permanent staff members to the region. The cameras you are seeing here this morning, they are from Windhoek. After this, they will leave us back to square one. And we're appealing to NBC management really to allocate even one permanent staff member in our region. The MICT office provides free internet access to the youth in the region. And they are also supporting our youth with free computer literacy classes. So far, 135 youth have benefited from this program. Kururu Town Council. As reported last year, the construction of municipal services is ongoing, namely provision of water reticulation at Kakuro location, Kulisuka, Mayara, and Kahenge. The servicing of Extension 6 under public-private partnership with Development Bank of Namibia is ongoing. And we also want to thank GIPF for purchasing land to construct their office to expand their services in the region. Extension 7 was purchased by a developer to construct houses for low, middle, and high-income categories. Kururu Town Council also allocated 94 plots to the youth. Last year, it was more than that, but we are encouraging really Kururu Town Council to support our youth and provide them with plots to build their houses for a better future. With the Sheikh Dwellers Federation, the program managed to build 24 houses at Kakuro and 5 at Kahenge location. Kururu Expo continued to grow. However, the region is appealing to them to get a bigger site for the expo and turn the current site into a community park and children's playground, because we don't have such facility in Kururu. Agriculture and land reform. Agriculture remains a top priority sector for the region that can change the livelihood of our community. Agriculture can create employment and address poverty. The region continues to appreciate the implementation of various programs by the Line Ministry. However, the Extension Services Program need to be reviewed and strengthened to benefit our farmers. Further, the region appreciates the expansion of milling plant at Katwitwi settlement by AMTA. This year, this facility is supplying maize meal to the Office of the Prime Minister for the Drought Relief Program. The region would further like to thank His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba for declaring the state of emergency on the account of prevailing drought. The Office of the Prime Minister and KAVANGO West Regional Council have started rolling out the drought relief program to beneficiaries. 31,799 households are benefiting from this program in the region. I'm also encouraging our farmers to participate in the government market incentive to destock their livestock. Further, I would like to thank the Mpasinkuru and Ngaute auction committees for creating a formal market for livestock to our farmers in the region. Green schemes. As previously reported, the region have two green schemes, namely Msese and Skondo Green Scheme. This green scheme have improved in the production, and the ministry must continue to assist them with financial and technical support to produce at full capacity. And the region is also appealing to the ministry that Zone Green Scheme project to commence without further delays. Environment and tourism. The ministry responded positively to the region's request to introduce community-based tourism program, and the ministry launched with KAVANGO West Regional Council a tourism forum in the region to serve as a platform to enhance cooperation among stakeholders. At the same time, the region continues to appeal to the ministry to address human-wildlife conflict, which is giving problems to our farmers. Education. Education is the greatest equalizer, and the region continues to be among the best 5 performing regions in both grade 11 and 12 national examinations. The region also responded positively to the request of the region. The ministry is also responded positively to the request of the region by establishing 3 new schools in Kururu constituency. That are Mayara Primary School, Karanawa Primary School, which are already operational, as well as Kururu Senior Secondary School. Kururu Senior Primary School is still under construction, and it will have a hostel. I would like also to report that the Kachina Senior Secondary School hostel, as well as Satotwa Primary School in Mankumpi constituency, as well as Erago Primary School hostel in Namagoro constituency, Simanya Secondary School hostel, and Mukekete Primary School hostel in Pungu constituency, they are all open for learners. This will help to accommodate more of our learners who are traveling long distance to and from school. And it will also help reduce school dropouts. Sports, youth, and national services. As reported last year, phase 1 of the construction of the multipurpose center in Kururu was completed. This year, the ministry allocated 10 million for phase B, which includes the construction of soccer field, 3 multipurpose courts, ablution facilities, and changing rooms. Under Namibia Youth Credit Scheme, 25 youth benefited from the region. Under Youth Adult Training, 8 youth benefited. Additionally, 45 youth participated in the male engagement dialogue workshop that took place in Kururu. Under 121 rural youth enterprise, 2 projects will participate. I see the chairperson of the youth councils nodding his head, the information correct, and we thank the ministry for those programs to address the unemployment among our youth. However, the region is appealing to the ministry to review some of these programs because they have not made any impact in creating self-employment for the youth, especially in our region. In the field of soccer, the annual Governor's Cup took place this year, and Muni constituency won the soccer trophy. While Musese constituency won the netball category. The regional under-20 soccer and netball teams participated in the Netbank Newspaper Cup tournament this year, and 2 of our soccer players and 1 netball player were selected for the national under-20 teams. 2 soccer players, namely Pius Kapuita Hangura and Richard Hausiku, are currently in training camp in Windhoek, and we wish them all the best. Training and innovation. As previously reported, the construction of Kururu Vocational Training Center is progressing well, and it is expected to be completed by 2025. The region would like to appreciate Recon Energy Namibia for supporting 8 students with full scholarship. At the same time, we appreciate the support from Rani Group for supporting 5 students with scholarship, while the Development Fund continues to support needy students, and 15 of them benefited since the establishment of this fund. Mines and energy. The ministry continues to implement rural electrification in the region, and I'm happy to report that 9 schools Kachinakachi Circuit Office, Matende, and Karanawa villages have been completed, while Tondoro village is progressing well. I think the chairperson can confirm that. The region was allocated a budget of 18 million this financial year for the electrification of schools and some villages, while Rupara Sheikh Dweller houses in Musese constituency and Maporeza location in Kurenkuru constituency will be electrified this year. However, more still needs to be done in the provision of electricity to many villages in the region to stimulate our local economy. Works and transport. Phase 2 of the upgrading of Charlie Alex Muranda Road to gravel road is completed, while phase 3 is to commence with an allocation of 35 million. The upgrading of Ngaute Karukuisa Road to gravel is also ongoing. The construction of Kurenkuru Nepara to low volume seal has commenced. The ministry will also construct 4 new access roads, namely the Roidag to Kanuflei with an allocation of 34 million, Mbeo, Erago, Matende Road with an allocation of 7 million, Siko to Garuha Clinic with an allocation of 7 million, and to Bravo Primary with an allocation of 2 million. It's the first time we are getting 4 projects at a time. We are saying this is good progress. However, more roads or feeder roads is still needed in the inland to connect our villages. At the same time, the region is saying it's not fair for Roads Authority to upgrade gravel roads in some regions to tired roads, while some regions are still dominated by sandy roads. And further, the region is also appealing to Roads Authority to construct a full-fledged NATIS office in Kurenkuru. Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety, and Security. As reported last year, the ministry continues to issue national documents such as birth certificate and identity card, as well as conducted outreach program. The ministry allocated 15 million to construct the Regional Civic Affairs Office. This will improve the situation of long queues in our region. The region is also requesting the ministry to address, as a matter of urgency, the problem of stateless and undocumented people, which is a huge problem among our community. They cannot access programs. I would also like to report that the ministry completed the construction of the police station, and the construction of Ngamagoro police station has commenced, while Kachinakachi police station is planned for future development. Finance and National Planning Commission. The region continues to request for equitable allocation of resources for development to all regions. At the same time, the region is calling upon the Namibian Central Procurement Board for local business people to get preferential treatment towards the awarding of tenders in their respective regions, including through joint ventures. Only through this initiative, our country will achieve prosperity for all. Under social progression, Ministry of Health and Social Services, the region has 2 health districts, namely Ngamagoro and Kururu, 1 hospital, 6 health centers, 22 clinics with staff establishment of 605. Out of these, 402 positions have been filled and new jobs were created. Construction of Daruha Clinic is completed, and the construction of maternity ward at Rupara Health Center is ongoing. The region would like to appreciate the opening of Nandingwa Clinic in Pungu constituency, which will serve the surrounding community in the inland. And the region continues to demand for the construction of Kururu District Hospital without further delays. Gender equality, poverty eradication, and social welfare. During the period under review, the construction of a model ECD center at Bravo Sun settlement in Pungu constituency is completed. In terms of social grants payout, the following number of children are receiving benefit. And 20,425 beneficiaries are on the system in the previous financial year, while 8,060 beneficiaries are receiving pension and disability grants. Planned activities in the region for financial year 2024-2025. As reported in all my previous statements, our office continues to experience difficulties in obtaining information from some offices, ministries, and agencies on how the allocated development and operational budget is implemented in our region. At the same time, the region would like to appreciate the budget allocation for 2024-2025 financial year of 322,288,000 Namibian dollars for the development budget, with 52 projects to be implemented by various offices, ministries, and agencies in our region. And the region appeals to all owners to implement these 52 projects without sending any penny back to Treasury. How we plan to move forward? KAVANGO West region is still committed to implement and monitor the government policies and developmental programs and projects until we change the current status quo of our region. As the youngest region, our priority sector remains the same, namely infrastructure development, agriculture, manufacturing, and community-based tourism. The region believes that with good investment in these sectors, we can change the livelihood of our community. The region still continues to call upon agents, offices, ministries, and agencies to decentralize their functions to the regional council to improve service delivery to our community. The Office of the Governor will continue to invite various offices, ministries, and agencies to have engagement meetings to share their programs and projects that have been implemented in our region. While the community engagement meetings by the Office of the Governor, KAVANGO West Regional Council, and all stakeholders will continue to go to all our 8 constituencies to engage our community. Lastly, Honorable Chairperson, although the region is still faced with many developmental challenges, they are not insurmountable. Therefore, let us remain focused and persistent while addressing them to achieve our desired goal of developing this young region. KAVANGO West going green. Let us all continue to support this dream, and together we can make it a reality. Finally, I'm appealing to all eligible voters to go and register, because this is the right thing to do as a Namibian. God bless our region. God bless Namibia. I thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the State of the Region address that was now rightly just mentioned and addressed by the Honorable Governor, Sirka Ausiku, who just, of course, mentioned quite a lot of things in all areas in terms of the challenges that are experienced in that area, and also the achievements that have been made and what still needs to be done in terms of what the future of the region looks like, calling, of course, on many collaboration Well, thank you so much for joining us once again. We are coming to you from Kururu in the KAVANGO West region for the 10th State of the Region address that was just, of course, tabled a while ago by the Honorable Governor Serka Ausiku of the KAVANGO West region. Now, we of course heard so much that was mentioned in that speech. It was all things from challenges and of course achievements that the KAVANGO West region has currently observed in the past year. And now back to just give us a post analysis of what we of course heard earlier on. We are still joined by George Kalenga, the academia and lecturer at the Institute of University of Management, and we are also joined equally by Modestus Kasoma, who is a youth activist and chairperson of the Freedom of March movement. Gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us, George, and of course thank you so much for joining us, Modestus.
Thank you very much.
Let's start with you, George. We've quite heard so many things. Of course, earlier we were talking about a lot of things that, of course, the KAVANGO West region has gone through in the past years, but what was the highlight of what the governor just said just earlier today?
From the pickup point, what I've just analyzed from the governor is that he emphasized more or deliberated more on the positive, project that have been done, and mentioned few of the challenges that the region is facing, and calling upon the different type of stakeholders to come on board to help the region to excel.
Okay. And George, what was your observations, especially in your area being a youth activist? Were there anything that stand out, perhaps that you caught your attention or perhaps also needed more deliberation, do you think?
What I wanted to hear from the governor is about the youth empowerment programs in the region, and in terms of where the region is going, in terms of a clear program of action, a framework, because this is called under the theme of KAVANGO West going green. Going green. Is there really green schemes? Or these farmers are really being sufficiently enough equipped so that these horticulture programs are really taking place at the ground? And what I wanted, because this could be a last State of the Region address, since we are going to elections, you don't know what's going to happen, or she might also be rewarded for maintaining the status quo in the region, or maybe uplifted. So I think she's supposed to make a really clear program of action. Even when she leaves the office, there is something need to leave that people. There's a framework which is established, and even everyone who comes after her, they follow that march.
Now, speaking of horticulture, she just mentioned about the areas being, being developed in that area. I think not too far from where we are right now, we have this building that says horticulture, agriculture, where we see some activities being, being grown there. What do you make of that activity? Do you think that the youth of KAVANGO West are fully aware of this program and the opportunities that come for them in this area?
Yeah, they are fully aware of this program, and there are some youths who are really trying. But you can also see that in her address, she called another youth who is the winner in the horticulture, who's from Kambinda, which is good that youth are participating. But what's worrisome is about the market. They can even produce. Where will they sell it? Is the state really helping these people so that they can sell their goods? Because there is no way a state cannot support even a small business. There is a conception in our hospitals, but these tomatoes are in the hostels. They are coming from somewhere else, not from these horticultures, people who are producing horticultures. Therefore, they have to create a policy where the local people in the region have to supply the hostels and the...
All right, George. Let's talk about some of the positives that the minister, the honourable governor rather, mentioned in this speech. We know of the milling plant in Katwiti settlement that was, of course, supported by AMTA. What did you make of that being a positive initiative that's brought to the region?
No, it's really positive to the region if looking in terms of food securities. So if the program is running and it's really producing more than what we expect, then it's really an achievement to the region. But what we are saying is that that initiative, which is in Kapiti, should be able to sustain people in the region, but should not only in a plant which is only in Kapiti, but the plant is not producing enough for the region. So the positive impact is there, that we have that in operation, but we would want that project to sustain the region in terms of producing the maize meal to the people, so that we should not be able to run into shops like ShopRite to go buy maize meal that are coming from far, while we have the project running in the region and can be able to sustain in terms of food security. Very well.
Let's talk all things funds, and we heard about some figures that the governor just mentioned, especially when it comes to infrastructure development and economic advancement. 4 new constituency offices, the construction of the regional government office park with a budget allocation of 30 million. Your impression to how these facilities are looking and the budget that is, of course, allocated to this. What is your reaction to that, and what is it a positive or negative reaction to what you just heard?
Well, based on the speech, looking at the analysis, the governor have already alluded to us that the regional office will be completed by 2025. So given that budget, I am positively so sure that the money will be used efficiently to complete the project, so that that office can be at fully fledged operating. Because now, as far as we are concerned, most of, as you have said, most of the offices, they are operating under people's houses, which is supposed not to be like that. Yeah. So we are expecting that office to be complete, and if estimated the budget for 30 million, the fund should be used for that budget, for the project, so that the project can run and then be able to operate, and perhaps the office will recruit some new people, and in that way it's creating employment to the youth or to the people or citizens of Kururu.
Absolutely, and this definitely you would also add value to the region, not only to Kururu but to the entire region, to add value to not only the structures of the offices, but of course how quick the services, government services or essential services that will be provided to the residents. How much value do you think is going to add to the residents of that is Kururu?
Positive. It's a positive value that I can say, because as we say, we're supposed to decentralize these offices, bring service close to the people. So if the regional council is going to be completed on time, it's going to be a positive to the residents, as the service, people can be able now to go to the regional council and get service or get help as fast as possible. As far as we are concerned, some offices are operating in the region, but they are operating in other people's houses, but you need to go around and searching for that house to find the office, which is not good. So if they can be able to complete this regional council and then bring other offices on board, as we're saying that there are some other offices that are coming, like JPF, they have purchased the land and they are about to construct. That is even positive. We would want offices to be implemented fully in the regions, not only the regional council. All the ministries, they're supposed to be in the region. That can be a positive to the region, so that it can help people.
Absolutely. Earlier we were talking about education and the challenges faced by the learners who travel long distances, and I want to direct this question to Modestus. When it comes to what the governor just mentioned, the response of both grade 11 and 12 national exams, and the ministry who has responded to the region's request by establishing 3 new schools in Kururu constituency, especially we've heard of Mayara Primary School and Karanawa Primary School, which are already opened. In the Kururu Senior Secondary School, of course, which is currently under construction. What is your reaction to what the governor had said in regards to this, and as a value addition to the education in the KAVANGO West region?
Yeah, the construction of the school is really very positive, and it will create an impact in the region. However, we just don't want just building because of a school. There must be materials there. So if you can really see, there should be a learning environment. It's not just to build schools, but there's no textbooks, as it's happening in the region. There are a lot of schools, but no textbook. We want the government after building, they must furnish the material so that teachers are equipped with teaching materials. And the other issues about you can see it's going to be a relief when it comes to their classes. The class is 60 learners per class, which is not even conducive to a learning environment. And then it also reduce the teacher-learner ratio must also be implemented so that teachers are not overloaded, so that they can give quality education. I think it's a real good. And it also reduce unemployment among the graduates. There are a lot of unemployed teachers who are just roaming around the streets.
And on the basis of perhaps junior education or senior education that is now on primary and secondary level, the challenge we just earlier spoke about, children having to travel long distances from home to their school. The governor said something on that. What was your reaction to what she just said?
It was a really good move, because I've seen where, especially at Karanawa, there are a lot of people or learners traveling from maybe 5 kilometers, and then when they reach the class, they are already tired, so they cannot concentrate. It's really a good relief on the community.
Yeah. Another point I want to touch with you, just a few days ago, we of course experienced a network shutdown, and we know that it's of course because of a consequence that happened back in the city where the electricity shut down, but it also affected the Kururu town, and perhaps rather the entire region. We just heard that the region appreciates the construction of new towers that are being built in the region, and this project is ongoing, and also of course calling for the expansion of local radio at 78% and television networks at 74.5%. Your observation, but rather in the information and communication technology sector, and perhaps the network and everything else, and how those services operate here, is there a real need for improvement in that area, and why do you think so?
Okay. Before I tackle on that question, I would just want to touch a little bit on terms of schools. I know it's positive for the region to build the 3 schools that they've been building, but when we look in terms of the region, that is not too much. That's not much. We are expecting the region to have more schools than what the government have just said. Yes, there is a positive. They are building schools, but we need more schools. These schools that they have mentioned, if I can just recall, they're talking about primary starting from grade 0 to 7. Now, what happens after from grade 7 to grade 8 to grade 9, and the person and the learner to reach tertiary? Those secondary schools, they are not yet being built. So we are expecting the region to have at least more secondary schools, enabling these learners that are coming from lower primary to reach secondary, and then enable them to reach a tertiary level. Yeah, looking at the question that you just have asked me in terms of the networking. Yeah, the networking, there is a positive impact on that. We don't experience much more on network apart from the power failure, which is maybe, I don't know whether it's only this region or national. But on network coverage, I think we have done much. Only a certain village that you can just travel, you find that there's no network. Yeah. But there is a positive impact on the telecommunication that I'm positive to.
Absolutely. Let's talk to, of course, the bigger topic, not only in this region, but the entire country. We're talking about mining and energy. The governor just mentioned that the implementation of electrification in the region and government facilities, villages and school, 9 schools, Kachinakati being one of them, the circuit office, Matende and Karanawa localities were completed. With all, of course, now being that there's energy being brought to the people, there's electricity being provided. Is this a positive to you, and perhaps, or do you feel there is something that's missing in what the governor has just mentioned earlier?
Rural electrification is really a positive in the community, but I think it's very less. Those are just small villages. We need more. Yeah. Every village must be electrified, so that it's because it will only also help in terms of reducing unemployment. Nowadays, electricity is not like luxury. It's a basic need. Even if you want to start a business or small business, you need electricity.
Words and your reaction, just in brief, to what the governor has just said, then what are you looking out for? What are you looking out for the future of the KAVANGO West region?
In short, I would just say that the speech was indeed positive to the region because she spoke about what is on the ground and what is happening. But in short, I would also want to see that more need to be done for this region. In all sectors, they should not just concentrate on one sector, but they should concentrate on every sector that can bring economical positive to the citizens of Kururu.
Very well. Talk to us about your reaction, just in brief, on what has been mentioned by the governor in her State of the Region address.
What I mentioned, it's really a bit positive to me, but more need to be done in terms of youth empowerment. There are really few programs that she mentioned that can uplift the livelihood of the youth in the region. And if you can see when she mentioned about the higher number of social grants, you can see that's a backwardness because there's supposed to be a lot of means so that the need of social grants must be below, not like we have to now to be proud of social grants. No, people must be provided with any means so that they can live their own lives. But those are gimmicks of politics.
Very well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making the time to speak to us this afternoon. Of course, talking about the State of the Region address. Thank you so much for your analysis before and after, George. And of course, Modesto, thank you so much as well for making the time to talk to us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Well, that brings us now to the end of this broadcast of the State of the Region address, the 10th edition. Of course, it has begun here in the KAVANGO West region, where the Honorable Sirka Ausiku just tabled, of course, a journey through what has been happening in the 2024-2023 financial year, and of course, what the future looks like in terms of what needs to be done and to improve all sectors to, of course, make life easier for not only the residents, but of course those that are planning to be part of the KAVANGO West region. Quite a lot has been mentioned, and now, of course, we are looking at the State of the Region address coming to you, of course, from not only in this region, but of course in all other regions as of the 26th of July 2024. We'll be looking at all other regions, of course, going to be tabling their State of the Region address by the respective governors, talking about all the challenges and achievements that, of course, have to be confronted and, of course, unveil what the future is going to be looking like for the financial years. But that's all we have for you right here from the KAVANGO West region, coming to you from Kururu, just right outside the community hall in that is the Sheikh Dwellers settlement. From myself, John Ikonja, let's rather give you another tour of the Kururu town and head back to, of course, the NBC back in the capital to, of course, enjoy a further viewing. For myself, John Ikonja, and the entire crew here in Kururu, it's goodbye for now.